Hello everyone, I welcome you to another exciting lesson in elite biology. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about reproductive system in vertebrates, more specifically humans, male and female. Alright, this lesson was as per requested by a student of mine, so we're going to tackle it very briefly and it's going to be a very short and straight to the point lesson. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Alright, so let's get to work. Now, I'm going to start with the human male. The male. Sorry, what did I write? Sorry about that. Let's scribble that out. The male reproductive system. Okay. Alright, so we're going to talk about the male reproductive system first. Now you have to understand that, let me just give you a foundational knowledge. There are two types of reproduction, okay? First and foremost, what is reproduction? Reproduction is simply what? The ability for what? Living organisms to give rise to new offsprings, okay? There are two types of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Asexual only involves one parent, just a single parent. It's split and it has a clone, okay? Example, amoebas, all these unicellular organisms. Then we have asexual. Asexual involves two parents. That's the fusion of two gametes, the male and the female gamete, okay? They fuse together to form zygotes. So that is sexual reproduction. Now, that being said, this the male reproductive system, we are going to be talking about the parts, but I'm going to do it in a way, I'm going to make it very comprehensive as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the source. I'm going to start from the origin, where the sperm is produced and how it exits the body. So we're going to be looking at the different parts of the male reproductive system, okay, from the starting point to its exit point, okay? So I want you just to keep that in mind while I begin. So the male reproductive system is obviously different from the females, yes, because there are some parts that it has, that is unique to itself. And so number one, let's look at the parts. The number one part we're going to talk about in the male reproductive system is the testis. Let's write that out. Testis, okay, or testicle, whichever the case. Testis, I think it's E. Now, the testis, okay, is an egg shape, an oval shape. Yes, egg is oval shape. It's oval in shape anyway. It's an oval shape, part of the male reproductive organ, okay, and it is covered by a sac called a scrotal sac, okay, or a scrotum, okay. It's covered by a scrotal sac, or you can even say a scrotum. They are both related, okay. Now, the testis is located outside the body of the male because it thrives well in chilly and a cold weather, okay. That is why it's advisable for males to always wear underwears that are very free to allow ventilation, because the sperm will be produced at a cool temperature. It will do well in a cool temperature. Now, so the testis. Now, the testis is where the sperm is made. It's where the sperm is made. It's where it's produced. Okay? It's where it's produced. Now, the process of producing sperm in the male reproductive system is called spermatogenesis. Let me write that out. Spermatogenesis. This is the process or the beginning, how sperm is made. The process through which it is made is called spermatogenesis. Okay? Alright, so now, as I was saying, now also the testis basically has two functions. The first one is it is where sperm is made. Okay? Now, the second function is it produces a hormone called testosterone. It produces a hormone called testosterone. Testosterone. Yeah. Sorry about that. Testosterone. Okay. That is the hormone responsible for the sexual characteristic, the secondary sexual characteristics, the development of the secondary sexual characteristics of a male. You know, when a boy undergoes puberty, he starts having deep voice, broad shoulders, development of mustache, pubic hair in the pubic parts, in the armpits, in the pubic region. You know, it starts to develop stronger muscle mass. That is the hormone responsible for that, and it's produced in the testes. So those are the two functions of the testes. So that's the first part I'm talking about. So let's go to the second part. Let's clean this out. All right. So number two, we have the seminiferous tubulis. The seminiferous tubulis. Okay. The seminiferous tubulis is located inside the testis. Now I want you to work with me on this. Just imagine the testis like a big building, like a manufacturing company, a big building, okay? Now, inside that company, there is a room where that product is made, the manufacturing room itself. In this context, the seminiferous tubulis is that part in the testis that is where the sperm is produced. It is made up of series of tubes that produce sperm. There are mass of tubes that produce sperms. Okay, so the seminiferous tubulis is where in the testis the sperm is made. Okay, so that's the function. It is where the sperm is made, the creation point. Okay, so number 3, another part, we have the epididymis. Epididymis. All right. Now the epididymis, after the sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubulis. Okay. Now the sperm is now transported to a plate. It's still within the testis. The epididymis is still found within the testis. Okay. It's located to another room. I'm using the word room because I want you to use your imagination. It's taken to another room where it stays till it matures. Okay, so the function of the epididymis is it's a temporary storage for sperm until they are matured. Okay, that's the function of the epididymis. Now, number 4, you can see that this is where it was made. This is the building where it's made. This is the point where it is made. It's staying here temporarily till it matures. Now, let's continue. Now, number 4, we have the vas deferens. Sorry about that. Deferens or sperm duct. Okay. Now, the vas deferens and or sperm duct, whichever it's called, is a narrow tube. Okay, it's a narrow tube that connects the testes to your body. It connects the testes to your body. Okay, it's like a long bridge, if I can use that word. Now, after the sperm has matured in the epididymis, okay, it's not like I said earlier. It's a temporary storage point. Okay, so after it matures, it will now transport itself through the sperm duct up into the body. Up into the body. It's going to transport itself from the epididymis up to the body. Okay? Yeah. So there you have it. All right. So yeah. So then next we have the number 4. After it has been transported, passed through the sperm duct, it stays it now stays in I won't say a permanent safe place. Like it's now gonna stay in like a safe house, so to say. Okay. So now the next part is gonna stay. It's the seminal vesicle. Yes, the seminal vesicle. Okay, so after it is transported through the sperm ducts, when it travels in that narrow tube, it now goes to a permanent site until it's ejaculated. It stays there till it's ejaculated. So it stays in the seminal vesicle. Now, the seminal vesicle there, okay, I want you to see it like a boot camp, like a training ground for the sperm, okay? While the sperm is there, the sperm acquires seminal fluid, okay? A seminal fluid there, which gives it fructose, which gives it energy, so it can run the race, okay? So the seminal vesicle, the function is it stores the sperm till the sperm ejaculates, number one, and also it gives the sperm fructose, energy, so they can run the race, so they can be energized. Okay, so it contains seminal fluid. The seminal fluid is the fructose that will strengthen the sperm. Okay, now prior to ejaculation, when doing sexual intercourse, okay, now the sperms in the seminal vesicles, they are raring to go. Now, when they leave the seminal vesicle, they're going to make two quick stop. Okay? Two quick stop. Now, after they leave the seminal vesicle, they're going to stop at the prostrate gland. The prostrate gland. Okay? Now, in the prostrate gland, they are simply passing through. They are passing through to collect something there. Okay? They are collecting a seminal fluid there. Okay, which will activate them. The job of the prostrate gland, what they are collecting there is to activate, to quicken them. That's the function of the prostrate gland. The prostrate gland is giving them a seminal fluid that will activate the sperm, okay, make them active. All right, like a wake-up call to duty, so to say. Now, after the prostrate gland, it now it passes through the Cowper's gland. The Cowper's gland. The Cowper's gland here is going to receive another seminal fluid. Okay, the seminal fluid going to receive here will help balance the pH in the female reproductive organ or in the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is acidic by nature. So if it doesn't acquire the seminal fluid from the Cowper's gland, the sperm won't be able to survive. So it is collecting the seminal fluid there that will cause it to balance the pH even as it enters the female reproductive organ. So it's able to survive, till it swims to the oviduct where fertilization occurs. Alright? Yeah. So after the Cowper's gland, then we have the urethra. Oh, sorry, let me write that up here. Number 8. We have the urethra. Alright, the urethra. Now, the urethra, it's a tube leading outside, connected to the penis. The urethra is a tube that connects to the penis. Okay, that is the exit point. Now, the urethra is known to be urinogenital by nature in its function. Let me write that up here. Urinogenital. I'm not blocking. I'll leave the road for you. I'll leave the path for you. Urinogenital. Okay? It is urinogenital by nature. What does it mean? It can perform both excretory function and reproductive function. In the same tube, urine comes out and sperm comes out. Excretion for urine, reproductive duty for sperm. Alright? So that's it. So now, after that, then lastly, we have the penis. The penis is an intromittent organ. Okay, when excited, blood flows in. It contains spongy tissues. When it's excited during sexual intercourse, it's aroused. It becomes stiff with blood flowing in. All right, so it is the instrument to introduce sperm into the female vagina. Okay, it is the organ that introduces sperm into the female vagina. Okay, so that is the function of the penis. So this is basically the whole part of the male reproductive system. I'm going to show you a diagram. Alright, I'm going to show you a diagram. Okay, so as I was saying, so we are done with the male reproductive system, the parts. These are the parts. This is the origin. It starts from here, the testis, then it ends the exit out through the penis. All right. So now we're going to move to the female reproductive parts very, very quickly. So let me just scribble this. Let me clean this off. All right. Clean this off. Let me just put F-E right here. All right. Okay. So let's go now. The female reproductive system. All right. Now, the same mechanism, the same concept I did for the male, I'll do for the female. We're going to start with where the egg, in this context, the male gamete for the male is sperm, while the female gamete is the ova or egg. Okay. So now we're going to look at where the ova is made and how it leads to the outside world. Start to finish. Okay. All right. So let's look at the first part in the female reproductive system. The first part is the ovary. The ovary is similar to the testis. What the testis is for the male, the ovary is for the female. Okay. Now, in the ovary, that is where it has functions as well. One of the functions is it produces the ova, the egg. The ova for singular, ovum for plural. Ovum for plural. Keep that in mind. So the ovary is where the female gamete is produced. Okay, and also it is it is where the hormone estrogen is also produced. Okay, it is where estrogen is also produced. Estrogen, this hormone. Okay, it is the hormone that develops the secondary sexual character of the female. Enlarged, increase in breast, and all the structure. Okay, so it is the estrogen that is the hormone that is produced by the ovary. Okay, there are other parts that I want you to keep in mind. Okay, as per pertaining the ovary. If you see something like this, there is something called the germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium. All right. Now the germinal epithelium is related to the egg. Is the structure that surrounds the egg. That mass that contains the egg and even the surface of the ovary. Okay, the germinal epithelium is that part that and it's also you also have words like Graafian follicle. This one is related to the menstruation cycle, the menstrual cycle. Okay, you are familiar with that now. Every 28 days, okay, unfertilized eggs, they are released. That's why they have the flow. They are released through the blood, that comes within that span of time. All right, every 28 days interval. All right, so the Graafian follicle, and the germinal epithelium, they are all found, in the ovary. Okay, now, so that's it. The ovary. The ovary is the one that produces the female gamete, the ova, and the eggs are produced. One egg is made. One egg is produced monthly at different interval. There are two ovaries, just like how you have two testes. Two ovaries located in the dorsal part of the abdomen. Okay, so at different months, this produce at different intervals. All right. Okay, so the ovary. Then number 2, another part is the oviduct. The oviduct or the fallopian tube, whichever name. This one is similar to the sperm duct of the male. The oviduct or the fallopian tube. Okay? Alright. Now, what's the function of the oviduct? The oviduct is where fertilization occurs. In fact, the oviduct is like a funnel-shaped tube. It's a funnel-shaped tube that receives egg from the ovary. The function of the oviduct is it receives eggs from the ovary, and it is designed in a funnel-like shape. I will show you the diagram. It is designed in a funnel-like shape that receives what? The ovary, eggs, ova from the ovary. Alright? Another function is, that is where fertilization occurs. Now please, note, the sperm will swim, it will make its way from the vagina, it will enter the cervix, it will go to the uterus, then go to the oviduct. It is in the oviduct that fertilization occurs. Then the zygote will come down and attach itself in the uterus, which is called implantation. I will explain that in the course of the teaching. Now, so that's the job of the function of the oviduct. Alright? Now number three, we have the uterus. Uterus or womb. Okay? Now this is the this is a powerful muscle where the zygote becomes an embryo and eventually becomes a fetus ready to be delivered. So that is the birth chamber. That is where the zygote, the offspring, grows. Okay? So that is like I said earlier, when fertilization occurs in the oviduct, the zygote goes down to the uterus and attaches itself to the wall, which is called implantation. Alright? Good. So yeah, so that is the job of the uterus. The uterus is the birthing place, is the growth place, is where the zygote develops to embryo, from embryo to fetus. Alright? Let me write that out. From zygote to embryo, then from embryo to fetus. Okay, so this occurs in the uterus or the womb. Then next we have the cervix. The cervix is a ring of muscle that separates, the uterus from the vagina. It's like a gate. It's a tiny aperture that controls the open and close. That controls the opening and the closing of the vagina during labor, during childbirth. So it's actually meant to protect the uterus. Okay? So yes, I'll show you the diagram. Yes. So the cervix is designed to protect the uterus. So that's the job. Okay? And it also controls the opening and closing of the vagina during childbirth. Alright. So let's go to the next one. Next one, we have the vagina. Yeah. So now the vagina, this is a muscular tube where during intercourse, that's where the penis goes to and ejaculates sperm, and they travel up to they pass through the cervix, they go to the uterus, then the oviduct where fertilization occurs. Okay. And also the vagina is also called the birth canal because that is where the baby passes out during labor, during childbirth. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's the vagina. Then we have the vulva or the vulva. The vulva is everything external, the external features of the female reproductive part. Everything external, okay? The vulva, all right? And it's made up of two major skin, the labia minora and the labia majora, okay? So the vulva, we have the labia minora and the labia majora. It's minor skin, major skin. Okay? Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so that's basically the vulva. The vulva is the part that is the one that is in the outside world. Okay? It accepts, it receives, the male reproductive part during intercourse, for fertilization. Now, so number 7, we have the clitoris. The clitoris is a sensitive, tiny organ. It's similar to the penis. Okay, it also gets stiff. It also blood flows through it as well, and it's very, very sensitive. Okay, the function is it aids. It also facilitates, sexual intercourse. Okay, it prepares the woman for, the female for the sexual intercourse. All right, so that's basically the female reproductive system. Okay, that's basically the female reproductive system. So the ovary, the oviduct, the uterus, the cervix, vagina, vulva, clitoris. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I hope I hope you enjoyed the class. Yes. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments, all right? And I will definitely reply. Thank you very much. God bless you. We'll meet again soon.